Hello everyone, it's Paul and welcome to $30 Joystick Life in the Verse. As a new series I've decided to start up. Now the Star Citizen actually has version 2.0 up on the PTU, the Public Test Universe. Now I've actually been following Star Citizen since about November 16 of 2012. That's the date of my first pledge. And I actually come back every few months just to see how things are going. Typically I play with some buddies, and when we struggle to get into a match together, we call it quits for a few weeks and then try again. Now we've had some good times already, and the game is in a very early state, so I'll go and throw that disclaimer out there. Again, this is a test of a test of a test. Can't expect everything to be perfect, right? So with that being said, many folks out there, these guys and gals already put countless hours into the game. There's some great vids out there, some great flight instruction, dogfighting, all these deep dives. Now this isn't really intended to be that. I'll admit, I walked into my first day here in 2.0 as a total noob, and these are just basically some things that I did not know. So, if you're shy about trying this game or taking that 30 gig leap into the PTU, here's some tips that I picked up through trial and error. So here I am on port Olisar, and I have no idea what I'm doing, so I decided to look into the key bindings and notice that function keys F9 will actually bring up mobiGlas. Now mobiGlas is, for all intents and purposes, your own personal tablet. It's got all these apps which look familiar, which will help you accomplish tasks. A lot of these are inactive right now, and what I'll actually do is I'll try to click the scheduler right there, and you'll notice that it's not active initially. So what you actually have to do is you have to go into the journal. Now the journal loads up. You have all of these quests or notifications, news right here on the left. You'll notice that they turn yellow once they've been read. Now that I've read the most important one here, which is actually the temporary contract position there, the second one on the left, you'll notice that I want to go back. I have no idea how to do that. It turns out it's that little squiggly thing on the bottom. And now that I have gone back and I've read that temporary contract position, I can go into my scheduler, and within my scheduler I'll notice that I actually have a primary mission. Now this is all about restoring local communication, so I click that little hexagon there and it is now tracked. You'll notice that these restore uplink waypoints actually all popped up on my screen. Okay, so now I have a mission. I'm ready to restore some communications. I actually hit backspace there. I didn't click the little squiggly button. Like I said, backspace or the little squiggly button there on the bottom is how you move around and back out of mobiGlas. Now the other function key that does something unique is F10. That will actually bring up this virtual reality portion of your headset, I guess we could call it. Gives you a nice little crosshairs, and if you put that crosshair on something interesting, like say another player, it'll actually put that up. Oh, there's Onyx Wolf right on cue. Hello guy that doesn't know you're starring in my video. So you saw how his name popped up. If I didn't have this augmented reality thing, this F10 menu popped up, it would not have shown his name. Alright, so that'll be something that'll be useful in the File universe, but for now let's go and get out of it and hit F11. F11 will bring up your contacts window. Now in your contacts window, the problem is that you can't do anything until you actually hit Alt and Spacebar at the same time, and then you will bring up your mouse cursor. Now after you've done that, you can interact with the fields, click add, click into that field, do all kinds of fancy stuff, and when you hit F11 that'll disappear, but you'll notice that your cursor is still on your screen and you can't move your head around. So just hit Alt and Spacebar again. And finally F12 actually brings up the chat window. So chat window obviously is used to talk to people that are on the same station. You can actually see somebody else using it, which is unique. That doesn't happen very often, but you can talk to people, can arrange rides, even form parties, although you can't leave the parties once you've joined them. Anyway, we want to get our ship. So we go up to this terminal, hit F, select your ship, request it. Terminal's going to wait a second, and then it's going to tell you A04. That number is really the only important part. The A is not relevant at this point. Now you're going to be stuck at that window for a bit until you hit F to back away from the terminal. So remember, you got to hit F to back away, otherwise you're not going to be able to do anything. Alright, and now I'm going to cut away to the other video that I actually shot on day one, which will have me going to the FPS area, where all the guns are and all that fun stuff, and just some of the things that I encountered while going there. So in case you missed it, my ship is actually going to be on landing pad 1, so I'm following the signs over here on the walls, and I'm going towards the airlock that's marked landing pads 1 through 4. Now, none of this is marked on your HUD in any way, so you kind of got to find your place. And I like that. I know it's one of those points of contention about how much immersion you want in a game, but this little touch here, where you actually have to find your way, you have to go through the airlock. Sure, this will grow old after you've done it 100 times, but it's very novel and it's very well done, and for the state of the game. Anyway, from now on, I'll actually skip around to cut out some dead time, because I tend to ramble when things aren't really going on. You'll see that my ship right there is on landing pad 1. There's a very similar looking one on landing pad 2, so make sure that you go to the correct pad. So before I start skipping around or talking about some things that went different for me than they do in Arena Commander and things like that, I just want to say this is a public test universe and the game does crash a lot, and that's not a criticism at all. Like I said, it's a test of a test of a test, right? So you are going to encounter a lot of crashes, a lot of disconnects, a lot of errors, even just trying to get into the universe. But I promise you that if you can string about half an hour in here without a crash, it's going to be worth it. So getting into the cockpit, obviously a very similar experience as in your hangar, except now you're on a landing pad, and as soon as you get in here, you're going to take off. Now when you take off, you're going to be in an armistice zone, so you'll find that none of your weapons work. If everything's working as intended, they should not be able to lock on or fire in any way. And what you'll actually see is that my ship, after I took off there, is in PRE mode. Now what PRE stands for is precision mode. Now I didn't know this, so the first time I actually got in here, I actually got into my cutlass and I took off. Your velocity is capped at 50 in precision mode. And if you don't know how to change, you're going to be like me and you're going to be sitting around saying, hey, what the hell's going on? Why is my ship only going fucking 50 speed? And I know that may seem silly to a lot of people that have spent a lot of time in Arena Commander, but it actually threw me for a loop. I had to go into key bindings and check that V is actually what toggles it. So right there you see I changed into SCM mode, and that's Space Combat Maneuvering. And then I hit B to bring up the Quantum Travel mode. So that was V as in Victor to switch from Precision to SCM, and B as in Bravo to bring up the Quantum Travel mode. Now the way that Quantum Travel actually works, all you got to do is you just point to the waypoint you want to go, and then you hit a button that you actually either have to set in keybinds, or it's, I believe default it is set to the same thing that your missiles used to acquire target lock, and then you just hit that button. So the way I'm actually going, I went to Yella first, and then I'm going to go to Security Post Koresh. Now this has been renamed. This used to be called, I believe, Selen. That also took me about 15 minutes to figure out. So if you're looking to go to the FPS area, you're looking to go to Security Post Koresh, something like that. Anyway, but you have to go to Yella first, which is that sweet Saturn looking thing with an asteroid belt. Alright, so here we are at Security Point Koresh. I'm about to get in on some sweet FPS action, but wait, what's this? Two homies. My radar peeped at me, told me there's some contacts, and oh look, a Retalliator. I've actually never encountered one of these before, out in the wild, in the space. So I was wondering, oh my god, he's shooting at the other guy. So this is all players seem to be doing right now, from what I've seen. It's kind of just like a free-for-all. As soon as you see another person, you light them up. So this was kind of cool. Obviously the Tali's beating up on this. I think it was a Hornet. It might have been something smaller. Anyway, they're having a good time, and I decided to join in. So let's listen on to how that went. That big boom right there was actually the other guy bailing out and leaving me to face this Retalliator by myself. And so obviously I decide that the best thing I can possibly do is go ahead and try to joust with this guy. And in retrospect, that was a little bit of a bad idea.
Shields charging. Check fire. Alert. Port shields down. Lock. Missiles drop. Alert. Aft shields down. Check fire.
We're not gonna win this fight. So as you just heard me declare there, I'm not going to win this fight. So I decide that it is time to utilize the other flight mode in 2.0, which is the CRU mode, which is cruise. As soon as you switch into this mode, you increase your speed substantially. So I got the fuck out of there. Went all the way up to 2,000 speed and got out and decided that I'm going to visit the service station. And so I just took the quantum travel jump point there. So I'm going to go ahead and cut to me arriving at that station and then noticing that somebody may have followed me. So here I am, repair station. You'll notice right there in front of me it's got several landing pads, and I'll actually show you how to repair your ship here in a moment. But I kind of panicked here a little bit because I noticed that a certain Retalliator had the same idea as I did, except I don't know if he didn't notice me or if he just didn't want no more beef, but he just went straight for the landing. I actually think he was on automatic landing, so he couldn't have veered off and hit me even if he wanted to. So I decided I'm going to hide over here and then go for a little EVA while I wait for him to leave. So this right here, even just this little EVA, this is probably my favorite part of this whole playthrough, just because you can get out of your ship pretty much at any point and go float around a little bit and see what's up. So I'm gonna go ahead and fast forward through this a little bit, just because I want to save a little bit of time so this isn't excruciatingly long. And here we notice that our friend the Retalliator is gone. He has moved on to other things. But the part after this, right here, when I come over this little rise and actually see my Hornet just floating there, and then float over to it and kind of just see how all the lighting effects, like this was cool. This is what I want this game to be. You know, just doing this kind of random shit, where I park my spaceship somewhere and go explore something random. I mean, this is the potential that I see. You know, despite all the crashes, despite all that frustration, this makes it worth it. Alright, let's hope we can get into the... Let's look at the damage here.
Shields charging. Warning. Systems overheating.
Alright, so back to some more useful stuff. To go ahead and repair the ship, all you got to do is turn on landing mode, select which landing pad you want to go to, and again log targets, at which point you'll be granted landing clearance. Then you just got to navigate your ship to that area, land on the platform, and the bots that are on that platform will do the magic for you. It's free right now. I'm sure in the end it'll cost something, so take care of your ships. Alright, and here we go. I've now landed. You'll see little drones come out and start repairing me, as well as the announcements being made, and eventually it'll even replenish all of my ammunition, and then I'll be good to go. So as soon as I'm good to go, I'm just going to take off and quantum right back to the security post, land there, and I'm going to go ahead and fast forward all the way to that landing and show you if I actually get my hands on a gun.
Complete.
Whew, my arm's all fucked up. Alright, and once again, not really sure where I'm going, but I'm going to go ahead and just go ahead and run in there and see if I can find some guns. And then, I don't know, come back to my ship, see if I can find some other players to shoot.
Can't trust nobody, you know.
Alright, so far so good. Pretty standard airlock. Let's go ahead and get in here. Again, I just kind of went up into some scaffolding and then came around on the side where I thought I could get inside. So go inside. Nice dark station. And there they are. There's the guns. Yeah, guns. I got a sweet gun.
Oh,
Yeah. Ammo didn't seem to be able to be picked up, so I do have 30 rounds. And I hear some noise action happening. So because of the noises, I was like, alright, yeah, so obviously there's some other people around. Come over to the window.
somebody took it.
Sure enough. Motherfucker.